Fasted 5 days, didn't die. Yeah. Here I am once again, creating another fucking video for you. So, 5-day fast, the 5-day fat fast. Before I get started on this video, if you'd like to support my channel and the continued production of content here on YouTube, which I do no longer monetize, it was voluntary. It's my way of giving the finger to Susan. Like, you're not gonna make your measly fucking ad revenue off my ass since you don't promote my shit. Now, if my channel grows, I'll think about, cutting Susan back in. But, for those of you who don't know, Susan's the CEO of YouTube. She's been kind of laying low lately, I feel like. Anyways, if you want to support my channel, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. Links are down below. Or if you want something for your contribution, you can purchase one of my 2.5, maybe sometimes 3-hour audio podcast, which you can listen to while you're doing other things, while you're driving, while you're stuck in traffic. More like when you're stuck in traffic. There's less driving going on nowadays. But yeah, purchase that. Listen to me do all the shit that I can't do here on YouTube anymore. I've given up. I don't feel like I can speak my mind on, anything remotely resembling current events in politics anymore. So that's where I do that, and I do it behind a paywall so that I can't be censored, because let's face it, even the authoritarians aren't going to pay to listen to you so that they can censor you. Plus, there's no algorithm. I like not having an algorithm shoved up my ass. For those of you that purchase my podcast, there will be a new podcast I'm going to record right after I get done with this video and put up Tuesday. Every Tuesday, a new podcast comes out, so be sure to keep an eye on that. Subscribe to my free email list so that you can be notified when they are released for your listening pleasure. And whenever I make any other kind of content that I put out on the internet. I am considering making videos for Odyssey again, but we'll see. All right, that's enough fucking promotion for for now. The 5-day fat fast. The results are in. I didn't do exactly 5 days. I stopped about 6 hours shy of my 5-day fasting time, so about 4 3/4 day. My ending weight was 214 pounds, 214.2 pounds. Today, I weighed in at 215.1 pounds. It did go a little higher than that, and then I took a shit, and now everything's all cleared out, so I'm pretty well sure that that's my current weight. So I haven't quite regained a pound yet, despite heavy eating. So the first thing first of all, I broke my fast with my world-famous goulash with no macaroni in it. It's basically a pound of ground beef, low-carb pizza sauce, and a whole lot of shredded mozzarella cheese, whole milk version of it. I can do cheese. I've always done cheese. I couldn't do keto without cheese because it would suck. So I did that. I thought that maybe it would fill me up really quick, because in the past, when I consume that meal and I'm keto, that does me for the day and I'm full. However, even though I broke my fast with it, I did not get full. I ate the whole fucking thing and I still wanted to eat more. So what that tells me is my hunger hormones are trying to compensate for the fast by encouraging me to eat more. There's no getting full unless I physically am bursting at the seams. So I ended up, and this is what I always do. The reason I have no problem overeating the first couple days after a fast is to ramp up that metabolism. It's very important that you fire the burners back up, because around days 4 and 5, you're starting to respond. And part of that response was not getting full. My metabolism, I don't feel like lowered that much, but my hormonal response was definitely, okay, we need to put some fucking weight back on. So to counterbalance that, you actually listen to your hormones. If you don't listen to your hormones and you still try and keep it at OMAD or ADF after you've done one of these long fasts, you risk continuing to lower your metabolism and increase your appetite over time. It's your body's way of compensating for the 5 days in a huge calorie deficit. And so I'm noticing now I'm getting back to normal. It's been about 3 days since I ended the fast, and today is about the first day where I'm not like hungry throughout the day. So I'll probably be able to do OMAD with maybe a keto snack later. 100% been keto since I broke it. If I go into the 50-gram range of carbs one day, I do try to carnivore it the next day to help kind of spread those carbs out over 2 days, just to make sure that I stay ketogenic. And, you know, so on and so forth. I wanted to address Gyro Spin Up, who left a comment saying, if you consume pork rinds, you break the fast. No, you do not. You will remain in ketosis, and I did, trust me. Through this period, you don't end the fast. Your autophagy still, according to the research done by Dr. Walter Longo, or whatever the fuck his name is, it's protein, like large quantities of protein, that will break autophagy, if that's what you're concerned with. I'm not super concerned with it. This was more of a get into ketosis, get fat adapted quicker, and, you know, I only know of one other person on YouTube that talks about fat fasting, and that's Thomas DeLauer, everybody's favorite take your shirt off motherfucker. I remember you. Yeah, you know, he even looked at my channel and commented a while back. I was so fucking flattered that he came off his high horse of walking through fucking Costco and telling us the shitty, dirty keto foods that we could buy, you know. But he hasn't changed his shit a bit. He hasn't gotten political or done any of the stupid shit that I did. He hasn't cheated for fucking months on end. He hasn't done all kinds of shit. He's still telling you that same shit over and over again. You gotta love persistence. Sorry, I like busting Thomas DeLauer's balls on the off chance he still watches my shit. He won't subscribe though, so you know there's that. But he's the only other YouTuber that talks about fat fasting, and I watched some of his fat fasting material, and I'd say he's mostly right, but there's some things, you know, that you can get caught up in the minutia of. If you're micromanaging your nutrition to the point where you're worried about the kinds of fat that, like, I have a bunch of people telling me to get MCT oil. I just stick with what I know. I don't need to be all special and make sure my fat profile is just right. I stick to the fats I know, which is heavy cream, butter, pork rinds, which pork rinds being the less healthy of all of those, I believe, you know, and whatever comes in animals. That's the fats that I primarily feed off of. I don't buy MCT oil. I don't spend extra money doing weird shit. And I do avoid vegetable oils, you know, as a source of fat, or any kind of fake fat, essentially. So, you know, I don't do coconut oil or any of that. I don't make fucking buttered coffee. Heavy cream gets the job done for me. Yeah, it has 1 gram of carbohydrates and 1 gram of protein, allegedly. But I contend that that's negligible in terms of your consumption level. So, you know, because it'll get utilized before it gets stored, pretty much, you know. You burn 1 gram of carbohydrates just walking around, or even just sitting there, you know. So there's that. So I stick with what I know, and it hasn't let me down. This fast I consider a success. The refeed seems to be progressing well. Like if my appetite returns to normal, but my weight doesn't shoot way back up, then it's a success. And like I said, the key for me, and this is all my opinion, I'm not a fucking expert, but this is based on my previous experiences and the tons of research I did back in the day, which you can watch all those videos. Those videos are there. They're still relevant. But in my experience, the first couple days, you know, assuming that you can take it, your stomach hasn't shrunk. This is assuming you haven't done like a 20-day. But for a 5 to 7 day, just eat intuitively. As soon as you're full, you're full. You know, and if you don't feel full, keep eating until you do. I did not get full on the first day. I kind of got mildly full yesterday, but, you know, overall, I still wanted to snack later on. And today I feel like I'm not as hungry at all. Like, you know, it's getting part way. This time yesterday, I was ready for dinner, which is about 3 p.m. when I'm recording this. So overall, I'd say the fast is a success. The refeed is going as planned, and I haven't regained all the weight, you know, and I'm definitely not putting on water weight. I've also been pretty heavy on the electrolytes. You know, I'll either have cheese curds or for my snack, or pork rinds just drenched in pink Himalayan salt. And they also come salted as far as the pork rinds go. So I know I'm getting the iodized salt along with the pink Himalayan salt. So I'm not shy with the salt. You know, I put fucking McDonald's levels of salt on my shit. Same thing with when I eat meat or anything else, I'm salting it. You know, I don't go overboard with salt because I want to taste the fucking meat. But for the most part, I've been mindful because I don't want to get to the part where I had cramps. And there's in the past when I've been ketovore or carnivore that I ended up with calf cramps. So far, I'm not doing that. So my plan is to continue to eat every day intuitively, eat when I'm hungry, you know, whether depending on the hunger, it'll likely be a snack with one major meal per day. And after that, I should be back on the road, assuming I get hired. I just applied for the job. I don't know anything yet, so don't ask. But we'll see. We'll see if I get hired and go to orientation and do all of that shit, and then I'll be back out on the road. My plan is once I'm out on the road, to make things easier for myself and trying to stay keto while in the truck, I'm going to switch to an alternate day fasting protocol. Pretty much, you know, from the time I go to bed one night to the time I go to bed the next night will be the fast days. And then the same thing for the feed days, eating intuitively and not being shy about it. If I need more than one meal to compensate, then that's fine. But at least I had that period of time, you know, and we'll see. But you can end up stalling on ADF. I've demonstrated that in the past. But financially speaking, you know, if I'm mindful and I'm careful how I feed the hunger, if there's hunger on the feed days, I anticipate saving a decent amount of money while on the road, just in food costs. I'm going to have, you know, I'm pretty much going to be living in the truck most of the time when I'm out there. I'm going to be OTR, 48 states, hopefully. And so I'll be cooking, cleaning, making coffee, doing all that shit on the truck. Pretty much, I still have my hop in the Prius / hop in the truck setup. So, you know, I got to add a few things for trucking that I don't bring in the Prius. But overall, that's the plan, to continue to reclaim my health. And then after a while of that, depending on how things are going, I may drop off ADF and you know, probably a week before I plan on doing another 5 to 7 day fat fast, until I can get my weight down to 195. It's where I'd like to be. You know, anything lower than that and I start to look kind of skeletal in my extremities, which I'm not going for. I carry the bulk of my weight around my belly. It's always been that way. Also, not drinking, still sober. So hopefully my fatty liver, you know, my body eats the fat on my liver, hopefully, because I think that's one of the first fats that go when you're, doing these long fasts and your body's scrambling for energy. So it'll be interesting to see how the next long fast goes, assuming I manage to maintain a ketogenic diet or a ketovore style diet. What is ketovore? That is essentially the same as carnivore with the things I add back in. I have Carb Smart ice creams. That's my treat. That keeps me from going off to the baked goods and cheating. And so I'll have that as like a dessert for my meal usually. And I also have, occasionally I'll have nuts. Occasionally I'll have, 20 grams of carbs and something like unhealthy, like mozzarella sticks, where it's not enough carbs for me to jar me out of ketosis. But it is definitely unhealthy. I don't do that every day. As far as that, other than that, low-carb pizza sauce, low-carb ketogenic baked goods, essentially, and occasionally one of them keto frankenfood type deals. But for the most part, it's meat, fat, animal products all the way. Very little, vegetables and shit like that. As you know, I have a strong opinion on the state of our agriculture, which is between being genetically modified and heavily tainted by a certain pharmaceutical company that bought out, the food system essentially. So I, you know who I'm talking about if you've known me long enough. So I'm very careful, and the reason, I did these elimination style diets a long time ago. In other news, depression hasn't returned, surprisingly. I did have an energy dip when I started eating again. I was kind of tired the first day when I ate, whereas the previous day I was wide awake most of the evening. So my body's kind of adjusting, I guess, to eating after that, something besides fat in my coffee and the occasional handful of pork rinds. So, yeah, overall, successful fast. Let me know in the comments. I know some of you said you were doing it too. I'd like to know how it went. Did you make it all the way to 5 days? Did you lose some weight? Do you feel better? Is your mental health better? I'm particularly interested in that because, honestly, it's to the point now where I don't give a fuck if I'm fat. I more give a fuck if I'm depressed or have any kind of severe anxiety or mental problems. And I feel like when I went off the rails, and you can tell it from my videos, that I was most definitely fucking losing my shit a little bit. And now that I'm back on track, now that the fast did wonders for my mental health right now, considering everything that's going on. So that's my number one concern. Obviously I'd like to be healthier and I'd like to weigh a little less. I'd like to not have a big, huge fucking belly poking out. But for me, the big thing that I'm worried about, there's two big things I'm worried about. I want to stay out of the healthcare system. So I need to take better care of my nutrition for that. But for me, the mental health aspect is definitely much improved on a ketovore style diet. And definitely I owe it to the fat fast for that improvement. It was like night and day. So I'm hoping to keep that. I mean, and I can tell I'm not depressed as much because I've been you guys have seen I put like 3 fucking videos out. I'm studying the software that I use to produce. Right now I'm digging heavily into FL Studio, and then once I'm good to go on that, I'm gonna take some online courses for Ableton and all of that. So I've been feeling inspired. I just applied to get back in a truck. These are all things that in my deepest, darkest depression wouldn't get done. So I'm taking advantage of my time. Not to say that it won't sneak up on me. Maybe I'll fuck up. Maybe I'll eat the wrong thing. and then end up getting upset with something and then triggering the depression cycle after that. But right now I'm feeling what I felt on carnivore, which is that even keel, that lower spectrum of emotion, to where I'm not getting, flying off the handle, but I'm also not, reaching those all-time lows. It's some people don't like that. Some people like the roller coaster. They don't like kind of being even keel and calm and just fucking living their life. I think it's a nice break considering the things that I've been through over the course of the last year, where clearly I wasn't taking good care of myself. I was cheating too often probably, and I was, just flying off the rails, and to the point where I said, fuck it, why bother being healthy if I can't do any other shit? Well, not much has changed in that department, but I wanted to feel better, and it's working. And that was the goal, So I've already achieved the goal. Now I just got to maintain it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make future videos on the subject to try and, basically just keep you informed on how my journey's going. I'll also be, vlogging while I'm on the road. I'm going to have a lot of prep to do if I get hired. I'm going to have to pretty much get all my gear together, all set up for hitting the road and staying out there and being able to continue to bring you videos and also to record my podcast while I'm on the road. That's going to be a little more difficult. I might have to get a USB mic because I don't want to carry tons of gear out there with me, at least not at first, so yeah, but I'll be living in the truck, so I want to be able to do all the things I enjoy doing. That's like making music, doing my podcast, doing my videos, and of course watching all the shit I watch. So we'll see. I anticipate it's going to be an adventure. And maybe it'll be good for me to get out of New York for a while and see how the rest of the country's doing with everything. Because it's really easy to get stuck in the rut here in New York and think that the whole fucking world sucks just because it sucks here in New York. And believe me, it fucking sucks here in New York. Like, I go days now without leaving the house because of the weather, just because there's no place I want to go. Because I don't want to deal with people and their fucking masks everywhere and all the stupid bullshit fear that's going on. It triggers me, and I don't want to expose myself to that needlessly. There's nothing worth it for me to do other than going to the store to get groceries or some shit. I don't want to go to any bars. I've been invited to a few. I definitely, since my time at Singers has come to an end, I have no motivation to have a nightlife anymore. So I've just been, like I said, studying, working on my music, working on my content, and getting my life together. And I'm going to get out there. I'm going to pile up some money so I can have that early retirement again, hopefully. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go. Depends on how much it sucks, or whether or not they do more freaky mandate shit. But we'll see. I'll go as long as I can. That's all I can promise. If things go well, I might extend it. I might do it for longer, have a bigger pile of money, and then I can enjoy my semi-retirement proper. But as for now, I'm jumping back in. We'll see how it goes. Well, that's it for this fucking video. Sign up for my free email list at ScottTheTruckDriver.com so that tomorrow when I put out my podcast on current events that I can no longer do here on YouTube because there's a big strike thingy on my fucking thing still. Yeah, I haven't forgot. So if you want to stay informed for when that's ready and available, or maybe you haven't listened to any of my other shit, you can check out my other podcasts. Links down below to the shop, So, but that's it. Have a nice motherfucking day. Shit. Kind of nervous about going back out on the road. I don't know. Just like, what if it sucks really bad? Like, what if I'm miserable out there? I guess I'll just jump back to square one if that's the case. All right. How long was I out of focus for? It's like not detecting my face. I hope I wasn't out of focus the whole fucking video. That would suck.